The next step is to begin placing the walls into the plan. So I've got all the doors and windows here. I'm going to do a few things to kind of get set up for this. So I have this image here and I don't really need it any longer. I kind of got what I needed from it. So I'm going to type in X reference again. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to right click and I'm going to detach it. So it's no longer embedded in the plan. You could erase it, but its kind of memory will still be within the plan. So it's probably best to detach it. I'm also going to go through and, clean up some of this stuff. I don't need these diagonal lines anymore. So I'll go ahead and eliminate all them. So now I'm left with a more kind of easier to read plan to work with. I'm going to start by constructing the exterior wall. So that's this outer part here, and also this interior courtyard is an exterior wall. I was explaining before how the wall thicknesses are working, but I'm going to offset this polyline that I've created here. So I'm going to type in O for offset and give it a distance of 2.5 for the interior side. And I'll do that for both the courtyard and the perimeter of the building. And then I'll do another one. This is 5.5. Again, our total wall thickness is going to be 8 inches for these exterior walls. Okay. And because, I don't want to run these lines across windows and doors, I'm going to change their layer to the X grid layer. Now, this is obviously not part of the X grid, but I want to have a reference there, and then I'll come back later and delete it. Right. So I'm going to, and notice it's locked. Okay. So it's changed to that gray color. So it's a little less contrasty with the background. So now I have these kind of reference lines that I can come around and complete my work. So I'm going to switch my layer to a wall full of this, and I can start to block in these. Before I proceed with that, I think I want to do a similar process for some of these interior walls. I'll probably draw the exterior ones first, but I'm going to go ahead and offset those ones as well. Now these are going to be offset 2.5 to both sides. Okay, so I probably don't need to do all of them, so I can kind of use other intersections, but offset. And I'm going to do the same thing with these. I need to go and do that for the courtyard walls. I'm going to click on these offset lines and I'm going to move them to the X grid layer. And these ones as well. And they will be locked just like the grid. Now, I really don't need these ones any longer. So I'm going to just delete them altogether. Same thing I could do with these ones here. I have the references of those lines to work off of. So that should make this very easy or quicker than other methods. So again, I'm back on the layer called a wall full, and I just need to go around and kind of complete the walls. So I'm going to use that line command, not the polyline this time. These will be individual lines. And I will this is where you can kind of, if your windows and doors weren't properly located, you can kind of fix that. Okay, so here's an instance where I need to come from the corner of the door out there like that. Now I have a reference to finish this one. Okay, now let's take a look at these interior walls. Okay, so for the interior walls, I continue around till I get to an interior wall and I work my way around. One of the object snaps I don't have on that might be helpful is the one called perpendicular. So you might want to turn that one on. So notice when I click here and then I come down there, it's found the perpendicular condition. This one I may need to trim. No. I'm going to finish this out. Now, one thing you'll notice is that the doors want to swing against the wall. So you'll notice in the instance of this bathroom that the door swings against this wall. It would be very awkward to have it swing in the opposite direction. So now would be an opportunity to make those kinds of changes. And then anywhere where walls meet walls, you want to trim. Okay, so you can kind of continue around the whole plan and begin completing walls. I'll go a little bit further and then I'll sort of show you my progress. I've added a few more. And one thing I wanted to mention is that it's always best to, instead of like picking up and having another line begin at the end of another one, if they're on the same plane, is to just extend it further. Okay, instead of, again, having two lines connected at a point. Continue adding some more lines here. The other thing I want to mention is it's just important that you don't let these wall lines continue over the top, because this cyan line is going to print heavier and we want the lines in the window zone to be lighter. So here's an instance where I didn't have a wall to kind of trace, so I have to build this one. I'm going to bring this down perpendicular. And this one, it's an interior wall, so it's 5 units. And then I'll come back. Okay, so here we go. Again, that perpendicular object snap can be pretty useful. Almost done. I'm going to add another window here. Copy this one. This grid intersection. Over here to this one. And I will rotate it around 180 degrees. And I'll finish those walls out. So as I had mentioned, so I probably didn't need to draw these interior walls, because even though I had made this a hallway and this a hallway, I'm going to let those hallways kind of open to the rooms so that the rooms have views to multiple courtyards. But basically that completes the addition of the exterior walls. And one option that you have, I've left the walls of the courtyard out, but you could connect them if you would prefer to have like a more private courtyard. And I would suggest, if you're going to do that, so I'm using fillet to connect these, is that you make them the same thickness as an exterior wall. We're not really getting into what the details of these wall assemblies are, but they would probably be a thicker wall than our interior walls. So I'm just gonna trim these. So that's an option, and you could leave some open and some closed. It's entirely up to you how you want to treat those courtyards. I've decided to add a window here, and I'm going to pull those lines back and add a post between the window and the door. I might add a couple more windows here and there using the same process. So I've enclosed the 3 courtyards on the sides. I think I'm going to leave the one where the entrance to the house is open. And that's it for this part of the assignment.